WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from Method and Madness, yay! So, Method and Madness single pot still Irish whiskey from Midleton, County Cork in Ireland, and this is matured in bourbon barrels and received a finish in mulberry casks. 46% alcohol by volume. The official price was 95 euros. Since I do not live in Ireland, I had to pay 25 euros postage. So I paid 120 euros for this bottle. Ouch. So whiskey base number 179772. I should be happy that I got a bottle at all. And they were first fill and refill American bourbon oak barrels to be exact. And the mulberry casks were made from Hungarian wood. So we've had for Mastersons, for the rye, for example, Hungarian oak, and other things have used Hungarian oak as well. And this is Hungarian mulberry wood. So at the Kadar, a sawmill in the Tokaj area of Hungary, they actually cut down the trees, chopped them in the board, and let them outside for 2 years so they could actually air dry, which is very important. And then the wood was taken to a cooperage in Budapest, and it was made into 50-liter barrels. So the normal barrel is 200 liters from the American standard barrel. Sherry butt would be 500 liters, so it's a tenth of a sherry butt or a quarter cask of an American standard barrel with 50 liters. So if you read online, that says here the first trials in 2019 failed. Why they failed, I don't know. Maybe the barrels leaked. Maybe they found out that they needed to actually have a medium toast, which they now also do. Method of Madness is basically the experimental part of the big Midleton Distillery. Redbreast is made there, Jameson is made there, Powers is made there, Paddy is made there, and a few other brands. And so if you have a very, very big batch and you want to try something new and it goes wrong, ouch, that's expensive. So they decided for their trainees and for their people learning to become the next distillers and the blenders and so on, that they have their own little distillery to do that. This own little distillery is still in the top 10 list of the biggest distilleries in Ireland. At the moment, currently, we have 40 different distilleries, which means 30 distilleries that are creating a brand are smaller than the Method and Madness Distillery experimental site inside of the Midleton Distillery. All right, very, very good. The whiskey was aged between 3 and 8 months in these mulberry casks, 50-liter casks. I have the suspicion that the first fill was 3 months and then they refilled those barrels again and left it in there for 8 months. I don't have another reason to understand why some were 3 and some were almost 3 times as long. They maybe filled them again. How many barrels they had, I do not know. How many bottles they had, I do not know. I did hear the fact that there were supposed to be 1,000 bottles. I'm not sure if that's right or wrong. All right, very, very good. Now on the website here from Method and Madness, you always get a lot of information. And it says there can be no true innovation without a dash of madness. And we have here this limited edition release was initially matured in the traditional oak ex-bourbon casks and then finished in these 50-liter mulberry wood casks. This calculated risk yields the reward of the mulberry's unusual wood structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out something that is also made at Midleton. This is the old, look at the old design here. I don't have the new Powers yet. I have to do those as well one day. This is the Three Swallows edition, and it's fairly bourbon intense. So I'm going to pull this out. This is 40%. And this is single pot still. Why am I pulling out a single pot still to compare it to this? Because this is also single pot still, which means unmalted and malted barley together. So in Scotland, you can't do that. Everything has to be 100% malted barley. Then you have a single malt Scotch whiskey. Single, one distillery, malt means 100% malted barley. In Ireland, you get to do single pot still, which means one distillery, single, and pot still means up to 40% of unmalted or up to 60% of I think it's up to 6. I have some with 40-60 is usually a ratio, or 60-40 is what you can have. I think you can have the 40% of the one, and you can add 5 other percent oats or whatever you want to do. All right, very good. The mulberry tree comes from Asia. Its growing conditions, of course, are the warm climates and elevations up to 4,000 feet, or 4,000 meters. I'm sorry. Wow, I can't read. And it was best known for its leaves, which were used in the production of silk. Maybe you remember something in Jesus with with the guy who climbed up the mulberry tree and said Jesus, Jesus, and so on from your Sunday school. Who knows? And it was also used in the traditional Chinese medicines and also for tea in Korea. Oh wow! And its fruit can be made into wine. Oh, wine is always good. All right, very very good. So the nose is nice. And there's a little bit something going on there. There's a little bit of an oriental type of spice in there. On the website, they talk about the tasting notes being uh, smoked paprika. Paprika is like pepper, special type of spice that we have used a lot over here in Germany. Instead of putting salt, we put paprika often on our potato chips or crisps. If you're from British speaking countries, and that's very, very nice. So it says here on the nose, it could be caramelized toffee, apple. It could be freshly cut wood. Totally agree there. And it could be roasted pine nuts. All right, very interesting. Pine nuts. Yep. Going over to the powers. It's a little bit more vanilla. It's a little bit more of a caramel moment, and it's a little less fruity. So I do notice that the mulberry cask did a little bit on the nose, but not much to be very honest. All right. I do not notice a big change. I personally, when I read 46% for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, you could have gone a little bit higher. Yes, it's not the Causeway collection yet, but at least it's 46%. They didn't bottle it just at 40. Thank you for that little bit of a compromise with us geeks. I would of course, loved cast strength, but we don't know. All right, so let's try this here. Cheers. hmm It's fruity, apple, pear, caramel, and that interesting spice. I'm not going to say it's paprika. I'm going to say it's that oriental spice. It's almost like a very sweet curry. Weirdly good. And then the finish lasts and lasts and lasts. It's coated my entire palate, and there's some wood spice in there, and it's very good. I've had the acacia. I've had the cherry wood from the Method and Madness. I've had the chestnut. I dislike the chestnut a lot, but I like this. This is good. This is a B minus good. This has a lot going for it. This is really, really nice. The value for money, we have to argue about that. I mean, yes, Method and Madness is going to probably double the price just by putting Method and Madness on the bottle. It is a beautiful bottle. It looks a little bit like my grandmother's perfume bottle. But other than that, you have the little artwork here and so on. You got the nice riffles here on the side. It feels good in the hand. It looks good in the shelf. There was no box whatsoever. I just got the bottle as it is, sent directly from Ireland. Going over very briefly here to the Powers 3 Swallows. This is 40%. I do have my baseline. I know exactly what I'm looking for my single pot still whiskey, but this has so much more on top. This has more vanilla, more caramel, but it has a little that spice, that pot still spice, but this has a fruitiness and a woodiness and an enjoyment factor added onto this, which is very, very pleasant. I like it a lot. Now there's a tiny bit of a white pepper moment in the back. It's not the oldest whiskey in the world. They could have aged a little bit longer, I'm sure, but it's okay as a whiskey. So So I'm going to actually give it still a B minus. Value for money, it's more of a C minus. This is something freaks buy. If you're at very beginning off, if you're at the beginning of your whiskey career, don't go looking for Method and Madness yet. If you find one, buy it. If it's a good price, if it's under $100, go for it. And you'll just save it for a little while and you can enjoy it and share with your friends and so on. I would start off with the Redbreast. I would move over maybe to maybe start off with the Powers and then move over to the Redbreast and then move up to the Method and Madness here would be my personal. So maybe you can start Paddy, go over Powers, start with Jameson, some of the things, go with the Paddy, go to Powers, and go to Redbreast and end up in Method and Madness because I think I've had all 8 expressions they put out so far. 2 of them were 4-digit bottles, which I'm not going to buy. And so I've had any of the 6 that you could have gotten, more or less. And I'm going to continue to buy them and share them and report on them and review them and tell you what I like and what I dislike. All right, very, very good. So my question of the day is, what Method and Madness bottles have you had, and what's your personal opinion on them? And have you had anything else in a mulberry cask before? If they have mulberry wood in Hungary, I'm sure they're going to have other distilleries knocking on their door going, can we get casks too? Mm-hmm. I like tiny little bit of a white pepper note at the end. Doesn't disturb my enjoyment, but it's not where it should be. All right, Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, giving this a B minus. I'm giving a C minus for value for money. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, have you had any other whiskey from Method and Madness, or what is your favorite Midleton product? Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, tell others, hit that bell, and share this video if you'd be so kind. All the best. See you soon. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.